No love. This is what I'm talking about the whole time in the show. No love.
So I find this show so fascinating just in its concept, but what was it like for all of you when you heard word of it and then when you started getting interested in the project?
It's an expansive show that is pretty bold, and I think the only two people that were destined to make this happen are JD and Patrick, who have an encyclopedic knowledge of Tolkien and who really wanted to create a whole universe with all different races and worlds coming together. So we are very lucky to announce to show the Númenórean world, which we lived and created over the course of a year in New Zealand.
Yeah, and having been a fan of the books when I was a kid, and my kind of joke is that I'm closer to actual publication date than quite a few, well, definitely than him. So there were only the books when I was a kid before the movies. So having fallen and had my imagination sparked by that to then become part of this new project, and I genuinely feel that this is like the perfect point in history to make this show, and I feel the fact that Amazon has given that much love to a 50-hour adaptation, so one is able to tell a novel-length story about and give the weight to this that it requires. I mean, and even then you can't encompass Tolkien's imagination in those amount of hours, but within that, to try and especially with our two characters, to try and these known canon characters, but who we don't actually know. We know something of them, but to open them up is to be in a position of great privilege and excitement as well as responsibility. You know, fingers crossed I can match some of your imaginations of who Elendil might be to you.
So since you do mention legacy of these characters, Maxim, I'll turn to you. Isildur is someone who, you know, given that he's Aragorn's ancestor, is such a major legacy. For what was that like for you, you know, going in, and did you feel any kind of weight of that legacy when you were trying out for this character?
Definitely a lot of I had the weight of expectation of fans, but also a deep privilege to expand this character and explore him in his beginnings. And he is a young sailor in Númenor who is trying to find himself, trying to find his voice. He doesn't really want to become his father in a way, but also has a deep love for him and wants to explore the world. And in the process, he makes a lot of mistakes, makes a lot of people unhappy. And, you know, that's where we start with Isildur. And we know where he ends up, but this is all about his beginnings and how you know, I just wanted to create a whole cohesive character that had a lot of emotion and not necessarily perfect. You know, like we all are as humans.
I think you mentioned the name of your character just a moment ago, but as far as I'm aware, I have not seen the announcement of who you're playing exactly in this show. Can you give me a little bit of info about what we can expect from you from the show?
Yes, I'm playing Elendil, who is 38th great grandfather of Aragorn. That'll be the 37th there. So the bloodline is strong. Yeah, I mean, look, where we find him at the beginning of this season is in Númenor. He's a ship's captain. He's been widowed recently. He's trying to bring up some grieving adult children, and that loss is like a really turbulent. It's created a lot of turbulence in the family. So he's trying to find an emotional safe haven by moving away from the West, away from the faithful, back to the capital city, and he gets slowly drawn into the politics of Númenor. And there's a real schism in society between the old elvish ways, which is where Elendil's heart is, and his head is drawn to the new Númenor, the new, more nationalistic Númenor, and it's a pull between those two things. That's also reflected in the family because the children are taking different positions in that. So, in classic Tolkien fashion, it's a hero's journey for him in the sense that he slowly senses the danger that he's getting drawn into, but his instinct can't deny it until he understands that that's part of his fate. So it's, you know, JD and Patrick have set up that, you know, the new part of that is being a widower, also having a daughter, Eärien, in this family. So there are some new dynamics there which play really well. Again, super exciting to get hold of such a complex character at this early stage.
So since that family dynamic is so key to your characters, what was it like building the rapport with one another off camera before bringing it into every scene?
It was actually surprisingly easy with this one and with Emma, and perhaps that's the nature of like, which has nothing to do with us, the casting business, but somehow JD and Patrick weaved a bit of magic in who they put together.
I just looked at with such loving eyes at you. I was about to be like, oh.
We did first meet, and he said, "I'm playing your son," and I said, "Which one?" Because I wasn't sure whether Anarion was also going to be.
No love. This is what I'm talking about the whole time in the show. No love.
And he is a problem child, let me tell you that for nothing.